Hello everyone, Morris back here, and today very exciting day because season 4 has just started. And let's just see what's up. So there's been quite a bit of new update, and it's a pretty long notes. Having said that, though, there's actually not that much that we didn't know already, but we still have to go through it and see what's new. So the key points basically is yes, we have AXS rewards, so that's good. Yep, and the balancing and mechanic changes now live, right? So there's actually no new things. But of course, I have something that I haven't really talked about, which is the energy fragment to hold cards. So keep now use energy fragment. I'll talk about that a bit later. And then we have yeah, so more like rank rewards and stuff, and the daily and weekly mission, which is good, right? Keep the casual player, just like for me, I just want to, like having missions, want to just log in every day, maybe complete the mission. I don't have to climb as much, but at least I feel good about accomplishing something. So and yes, on esports modes now I guess it's always been there, but it's just as a separate app now. It's already in the main client, so that's I guess a good thing. So let's just go through it and see. So I already talked about this changes with the 20%, 35%, 45% with the rare, epic, and mystic era respectively. So that's one new change. So meaning I actually would want to push more for rare era now that it kind of worths more. And also, yes, if you haven't watched my yesterday's video, it's now 2 weeks, 2 weeks, and 2 weeks for each of the era, which is also good, right? It's more spread out, more exciting, I feel. Okay, and of course, other than the AXS rewards, we do get the other rewards as well, basically the stickers and then the boxes and stuff like that for crafting and for getting runes and charms. Okay, and then yes, the balancing mechanic. So this is something that I do want to talk about. So I don't think there's much change in here from the previous video on I think what 29th or something. So yeah, so that's why there's not much to talk about here, but I don't think I really talked enough about these changes, and so that's why I want to talk about this. So in terms of a card draw, now I feel like player one is pretty good, especially now they draw more cards and then the keep mechanics has changed. So probably most people will fight for player one, but let's see. Maybe because they feel like player two has a bit of a advantage based on their stats, but I'm not too sure why they make this change. But of course, in terms of just the feel itself, yes, it feels bad sometimes for player two to not be able to play cards. But now that the keep mechanic has changed, maybe that could, might not be an issue anymore. But let's see. Okay, the main one is really about the keep mechanic. So how the keep mechanic has changed, right, is that now you use energy fragment instead of using energy to keep, and that is a big deal, especially for a build that doesn't really care about energy fragments. So Glorious Main would be a good example where like they can definitely use that to their advantage because they don't really gain that much energy fragment in the first place. Then, yeah, so whenever they get the energy fragment, they can use it as keep. Now, even for other builds as well. So how it works now is that the first card you keep in the turn, then it costs one, and then the second card it costs two, third card it costs three. So let's say if you want to keep three cards, then it'll cost one plus two plus three, which is six fragments, which is quite a lot. But usually you probably just want to keep one key card. Then one fragment can be significant, right? Because three, the breakpoint is seven for Corinthian stuff, right? And if you are player two, you actually can't afford to keep just because you, well, for player two, you do want to use your current tail in your third round, right? Because you have two energy fragment first round, two energy fragment, and then a second round, and then three energy fragment for the third round, and then use a current tail to then, um, yeah, to then deal extra damage. So yeah, so that is probably not ideal for player two. For player one, it actually doesn't matter as much, meaning you can afford to keep one or two. Of course, that's assuming that you don't have other ways of gaining energy. I mean, gaining fragments, sorry. So, yeah, I can see things like maybe Golda or something, or like even Rice, like stealing energy fragment could be significant just to delay the power spike time of the Cointel. So I think this is really the main thing to consider. But of course now it really opens up the space for people to use other other charms. Sorry, just because previously it has always been about retaining cards because it is a card game, right? And consistency is everything, really. And so you do want to keep the cards, right? And that's a very important feature. And I think the design team realized this and make keep easier. And this also indirectly buff the cards that basically triggers when keep happens because now more people will want to keep. So I'm thinking about those that, let's say, opponents use keep, then shuffle school cards into the deck, that kind of thing. So those I think will be more significant now. Yeah, so and the final thing is that the unused energy can be converted into energy fragments. So to be honest, this one is not bad, but usually the unused energy, people will use it to keep anyway. So this in a way is really not that much of a change. But now, sure, like if you really can't use the energy, yes, you get one fragment. But in most cases, if previously if you have unused energy, you will just keep the card first, right? So then might as well just use the energy just to gain the fragment. Even if you're going to play the card later, you can still use the energy to keep the card and then play it. So yeah, so that's really not that much of a change. But really, the keep mechanic is the key part. Okay, so that is the big thing that I really haven't really talked about, but it is very important and it really changes the dynamic of the game, I feel, and opens up space for the other charms, which I think would be quite interesting. Okay, and then yeah, I talked about this already. The animation is speed up quite a bit, 1.35 times for the regular arena mode and 1.75 times for the blitz, so it'll be very, very fast. And the other thing that's fast is that climbing up will be even faster because now they've implemented these changes. Not going to go through all of them, but basically yeah, you basically gain a bit more. Uh, for example, at the lower ranks, you might even gain the victory stars if you draw, and you don't lose as well. So yeah, so you gain quite a bit. So I feel like it will be a lot easier to get to Tiger, but of course, once you get to Tiger, it's still going to be difficult. And the decay also changes. So once you get to Tiger, you have to play two, and then the Dragon have to play three in order to avoid decay. Yeah, so and then we have the missions and stuff. So these are, I would say, pretty good for casual player. Especially, I think it's pretty good for free-to-play player. Also, I think its onboarding is really getting better and better. Reason being, okay, first of all, is you can evolve your Axie now in the sense that you can not really evolve, I would say, but more like promotion. Yes, I guess they call it an enhancement. Um, so they don't really have the infographic here, but basically you can there are items that you can gain, all right, class badges and stuff like that, and honors medals that you can then use to improve your starter axes, basically. So now starter axes, I must say I haven't really looked into how good they are, and maybe if you like actually turned out to be very good, and I'll probably make another video about it just to talk about what could be, the good starter axes that could be even used as a regular, like in the arena mode, because we have seen some that has kind of gained their way into competitive, like really high top leaderboard. So maybe this season we might see that as well with this kind of mechanic. But they do have some buff as well. So starter actually has been buffed to 350 HP. In a way, it could be a nerf if you are now you can't do the snake jar scenario anymore with this. So that might be a bit of a downside to it in a way. I think that's how they kind of make sure that you can't just get below 300 right away. Mm, and let me see what else. Okay, the other thing is the starter runes. So they do have starter runes and charms now, which makes it even more interesting. So let me just go into it and see. So they have these that I assume is specifically for starters. And yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of them. But of course, these are like pretty, how to put it, low power level. Let's say the protector, right, takes 10% less damage if this actually is at the frontmost position, right? So it's really not very strong. But of course, they give this a like give the starter, like meaning the free-to-play player or people who just started, right, have more to play with, and they are more familiar with the runes and charm system before they get into it. That's same for the charms, I would assume, right? So yeah, but it's a very nice design. I quite like this. yeah, these icons as well. So you can say I gain one bubble per energy spend. Of course, not very strong, but then still, like it is something, right? That they know, oh, you can equip a charm on this, and then it has some special effect. So I think it's definitely good for onboarding. I don't think it will be any like game-breaking thing, but who knows? I think if there's anything game-breaking, it'll be with the Xyz itself and with the enhancement and the promotion. Yeah, so that is pretty much it in terms of the season four. So there's surprisingly no last minute changes with the yeah, the skills and the runes and charms, right? Because I don't really see anything here that is new in that sense. So yeah, now we can just get right into it and yeah, just start with season four and start with the climb at the rare era. So very best of luck with your climb, but also of course, not everyone is about climbing. For me, it also is. Of course, it'll be good to climb a bit, and of course, everyone probably will be able to climb into Tiger if you do 50-50. But it's more about really having the fun of playing Axie, using your team, and being able to, yeah, use your team on the arena and specifically right using this favorite strategy. So let's say for example this season I'll probably be playing quite a lot of leafy and the bamboo shoot kind of thing. I have the axes for it, so I think I would want to play that more and yeah, hopefully see leafy being strong again. Okay, so this is it for today, and yeah, all the best with the arena.